Welcome back. It's Mack, episode 21 of Icebreaker. AJ, how are you doing?
Doing really good. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and happy Thanksgiving to everybody listening.
Yeah.
Before we get going here, I just wanted to mention that episode 21 is presented by Fort Garry Brewing Company, 130 Lowe's and Crescent, just off of Kenniston, and they are the pioneers of craft beer.
I don't know if I can give them a plug here, but ever since I tried their Wheat City can, it's incredible.
I like the Northern Light.
Yeah.
The Northern Light's my fave. So, no, awesome people too. So check them out if you can. That's Fort Garry Brewing Company. And yeah, a little bit chilly Thanksgiving morning here.
Was it? I know it was chilly yesterday morning. We woke up today, maybe I slept in. It was like 14 in Winnipeg.
Oh, well, it just feels chilly in the room I'm recording then.
Little breezy, maybe. You still have the air conditioner on, Mac. It's fall. You can turn it down.
No, we have the air conditioning going until literally December.
That would be your problem then, yeah.
Yeah. You're still going strong with the shorts?
Yeah. Do you want me to show them to you?
Yeah, sure. Nice. Yeah, the classics.
They're
So
never coming off.
I know, like, I get this question a lot from people who've been around ice games and have seen you around. Do you have one pair or do you have like six pairs of the same shorts?
I have like 5 pairs of all very similar shorts. They're all Adidas. I think one is like a starter set of shorts, but they're all black, white trim. I get asked that a lot too. Are you just wearing the same shorts all the time? And I sometimes say, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like your closet is a cartoon character closet. When they open it up, it's just the same outfit.
Yes, yeah. I want everybody to picture it like that. Just pairs and pairs of shorts all hanging in the closet. Yeah.
That's funny. What do you think of the NHL free agency?
I thought it was a little lackluster. I thought there would have been more trades. And I thought the trades that happened would have been bigger. But other than that, it's flowing very nicely. I think as of today, we're into day, it's either 3 or 4 when we're
Yeah,
recording.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, big news is Paul Stastny coming back to the Jets.
I think that's a great move,
Yeah, second line
especially with
center.
the draft pick, especially with Perfetti. I think that's his name, right? It's tough to throw that kid into a starting center role, like a second line center role. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
And
exactly.
Stastny's a fan favorite in this city, too.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the draft, have to give a shout out to two-time guest on the show, Connor McLennan, for being selected by the Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, a big day for him and his family, so that was pretty cool to see.
Have you spoken to him since then?
Yeah, I just had a couple texts with him just saying congrats, and he seemed pretty excited.
That was big news. I was talking with Zachary, who does the camera work for the ice, and he said he went a little farther down the list than he had expected. I don't know. He had a short season, and he really lit it up in those few games. But a short season and a canceled end to the season, I think he ended up right where he needed to be. And he gets to hang out with Gritty.
That's right.
That's got to be the biggest news of all.
Hit me, Gritty. No, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you get drafted. Now he's with an organization and he can just prove himself from there. And that's
Yeah.
like anybody. Even if you're undrafted, you get signed and you have the same opportunity.
Question for you, Mac. Who do you think is going to pay Taylor Hall?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
When the Coyotes don't want to give you the money, that's a tough situation to be in.
Like, I feel like everywhere he goes, the teams aren't doing well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Is it going to be funny if he ends up back in Edmonton?
He might. He might. For sure. Did you watch the NHL draft at all?
It was on the TV, but I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it.
I just know the
You, you
second
mean
day.
you mean the virtual draft?
Yes, the second day took so long.
Yeah.
Like so long.
Well, but what's the other alternative? We don't do the draft. It got done. It took forever. I think we might still be in the second round.
That's what
But
it
it's
felt like.
good that it's happening still.
That's what it felt like. I want to point out, so last week we started a new segment, the Manitoba Building and Trades Hot Take.
Yeah.
And as we sit here and record this, it is still alive.
If you missed the last week's episode, Mack had said that if the Heat beat the Lakers in game
3.
game three, if the Heat won game 3, that they were going to run the table and win the whole NBA Finals. It's still alive. We're
Still
recording
alive.
before the game here tonight, but it is still alive. Kudos to you, and it's time for another hot take, I think.
It is. It's time for another Manitoba Building Trades hot take. And I'm going to stick with picking champions here because I know there's a lot of people that are Astro haters, Houston Astro haters, a lot of them, and rightfully so. But it's hard to deny what they're doing in the postseason right now. And I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to win the World Series. And that is this week's Manitoba Building Trades hot take.
It's a good hot take. Why do people hate the Astros so much? I don't know when that happened. Was it because of the cheating aspect?
Yes. Yes, it was 100% because of the cheating aspect. But I don't think they're cheating this year. Well, I mean, maybe they are, but they're rolling.
They are rolling. You know what? The only association I feel to the Houston Astros franchise is when I was growing up. I was a fan of Jeff Bagwell's batting stance. That's it. I'll be a fan for life.
You know what? I'm like, I could either way. It doesn't no problem. They cheated. Obviously, that's not right to do. But I'm not so involved that I'm mad at them. And I love their throwback uniforms.
So the unis are great, and the baseball is really good. So you've got 2 championship hot takes on the go now. You've got to be feeling the pressure.
I do feel the pressure every time the Heat play, especially when they went down 3-1. I feel the pressure. And then Jimmy Butler's just back-to-back triple doubles. He's saving me. He must have heard.
He's a fan of the Icebreakers show, I believe.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, it was like the kid in the hospital. He heard you, and he's like, "I'm going to bring this home for you, Mac."
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. You were mentioning something ahead of the show here. So the Patriots game has just been pushed back another week again. So they've back-to-back weeks now being delayed.
Like, you want a hot take? This is mine. They have to start punishing NFL teams. The Titans, I know, are under investigation right now, but the Titans have over almost 25 positive cases now, and it had to have started somewhere. And they've already blown out their bye week, and they're still thinking at this point, when we're recording this, that the Titans and the Bills are going to play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tennessee had to close their facility again. They haven't been in there all month.
Yeah.
How are they going to play a game against Josh Allen and the Bills on Tuesday?
You know what? Josh Allen and the Bills are rolling.
They're the real deal.
Who would have ever thought that the Buffalo Bills would have real deal attached to their name?
If you have been watching the Bills, like even semi-closely for maybe the past 3 years, I think you should have seen it. They've been building block by block. And I remember the year when they made the playoffs. This is now, I want to say it's 2 years ago. Couldn't have been last year.
They played the Pats.
It was when the Bengals helped them get into the playoffs. Do you remember this? Andy Dalton threw the touchdown right at the end of just a nothing Bengals game, and it helped push Buffalo into the playoff scene. In fact, Buffalo fans started supporting Andy Dalton's charity in Cincinnati because they felt so grateful.
I do remember this now.
That was like the tipping point. I don't know if you saw the locker room after that game when the Bills made it in. I think that was when you looked at the whole team and you realized that they thought they were contenders.
Right.
And they've kept a lot of the core, and they've just kind of sort of built up the outside of the team. And I really do think that I don't want to peg them as the best team in the NFL. I think anybody who knows anything knows that that's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But the Bills are really making a run for that AFC title.
I think anybody who knows anything would know that's the 49ers, but yeah.
They're in the NFC.
No, I love the Bills fans, though. They're mafia.
What do you love about them? Is it the fact that they'll all put each other through tables, WWE style, during the pregame?
Just the videos that come out from there are literally hilarious.
And I've noticed that Canadians too, and maybe this is a proximity thing, but Canadians really rally around the Bills, especially in Winnipeg here. There are Bills fans everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's like Canada's NFL team.
It's good to see them doing well. Hopefully they really nip this. We knew there were going to be positive tests in the NFL, but this is getting silly now, and they left themselves no leeway for bye weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like Tennessee's blown out their bye week already. What happens if they cancel this game with the Bills? My hot take, I think they forfeit the game.
Yeah. They might have to. Might have to start coming to that.
Yeah, they're talking about forfeiture, and now they're talking about losing draft picks too if
Oh,
this
wow.
continues. And it's because they think the NFL and the NFLPA think teams are breaking protocol.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
if they have a stern protocol in place and they're still seeing all of these positive tests, I don't understand how else that they could be happening.
yeah, no, agreed. One
It's
last
really
thing.
killing my fantasy football team. That's all I know.
So that's why you're so passionate about it.
I'm so hot about the situation.
One last thing. The Manitoba Junior Hockey League got going for real
Yeah.
this weekend. And live hockey was back. The Blues, Winnipeg Blues, 2-0.
Yep.
Winnipeg Freeze held their own against the Steinbach Pistons in their first game. And
What a tough first series to play the Pistons.
super tough. And they held their own.
Yeah.
They held their own. So if you're listening to this and want to check out live hockey, check out the Blues and the Freeze. And they'll both be at home next weekend. Before the show, we were talking about what we should do at the end. And I kind of
I think maybe we're already looking ahead to Thanksgiving dinner. We were running out of ideas for our draft. And so you actually came up with the best and worst idea you've ever had.
Exactly. But I kind of like it because I've lived in two climates and I've seen early snow. I haven't seen snow till February sometimes when I was living on the East Coast. And so I brought up the idea, we got to pick a week that we think we're going to put our money on that it's going to snow for the first time here in Winnipeg.
Not that it's going to snow and stick, but the first snowfall is
the first snowfall.
Okay. Bold prediction, Mac.
Yeah.
Here in Winnipeg, we're going to get snow next week.
Wow.
And the only reason I think that is because I'm a firm believer in the Farmer's Almanac. Every spring, we read the Farmer's Almanac in their long term, and I've had this date circled ever since I read it early in the year. They said the week of October 19th, the prairies are going to see the first snowfall.
Wow, I hope you're
Putting
wrong.
my faith in the farmers, and we're going to get a little dump next week, I think.
I hope you're wrong.
Me too. Me too.
I'm going to go with a little bit later than that, but I remember when I was younger, and I always looked forward to trick-or-treating and just getting so much candy. And one year on Halloween, we got like 2.5 feet of snow. And I was trucking through the snow in my shoes because I wasn't wearing boots with my costume. It would have ruined it. And so I think the week of Halloween, we will be having a snowfall.
Okay. Pre-Halloween or on Halloween? We'll
on Halloween or the 6 days leading up.
Oh, what a terrible prediction for the kids who are already struggling to figure out what the heck they're going to do on
I
Halloween.
hope it doesn't happen, but every year it's in my memory, it seemed to happen.
And you said it, man. There's nothing like having your costume picked out for Halloween, and it's primo, and it's supreme, and you look great, and you got to put on a parka and winter boots.
I know. Just the worst. That's good stuff. Reminder, check us out on social media at Icebreaker Show with 2 W's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you have anything that you want AJ and I to draft or hear our picks on, let us know. We'd be happy to do that. Great guest today, former head coach of the Dallas Stars and now current assistant coach of the St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery, to talk about his coaching career and how he got where he is. So without further ado, joined by assistant coach of the St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery. Jim, how's it going?
Mac, it's going great. Thanks for having me on your show.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. So obviously congrats on the new gig in St. Louis. But before that, I was looking at your stats. It seems like you had a pretty good playing career.
Yeah, I was a good college player and a good American League player. I just wasn't a very good NHL player.
What do you remember most about your days in Maine?
The championship season. We had, a top 5 team all 4 years I was there. But that championship, anytime you win, you remember those memories and the teammates and the things you went through together. The memories aren't so much the actual games, but the things you were doing leading up, like in the hotel, the pregame meals, the pregame skates, the messages sent by coaches and teammates, stuff like that. That's the stuff that stays with you forever.
Yeah, no question. I was looking there as well. You had the 1 year stint with the Manitoba Moose in '99.
Yeah, that was, I got traded. I was, I think, in my third year with Philly's farm team, and we had won the year before with the Phantoms. And I was fortunate. It was good. It was a good fresh start for me to go to Winnipeg, and to play under Randy Carlyle, who I think is a elite coach, and learn the way he sees the game, which is a very intelligent way. The way he tried to expose open ice with the puck, and the way he held people accountable defensively was a great opportunity for me. And I loved the city of Winnipeg. It was a very fair winter. So maybe I was spoiled. I don't know.
Yeah, you might have been spoiled. Um, Interesting time because the draft just happened. Obviously, it was a little late, but you went undrafted and then still managed to have a great playing career, pro career. Played 120 something games in the NHL and almost 500 in the American League. What do you think to, what do you say to players who went undrafted and probably are down on their luck right now?
Yeah, to those young men, I just say no one can tell you no, or you can't, or you won't, or all those negative words. It's what's inside you that builds you. And adversity in life only makes you better, whether it happens in real life or it happens in competition. But you take those opportunities to find out, what do I need to do to get in front of people so that they don't say no the next time.
Yeah, no, exactly. Did you always know that you wanted to get into coaching after you're done playing?
Yeah, I pretty much knew in high school that I wanted to get into coaching. I knew I wanted to try it. And then once I was done playing, I knew I wanted to try that for a year and see if what I thought would be my passion in life was actually that. Because as players, we think we know what coaching is, but we have no idea the hours and the time and just how much it eats up your life, because you never turn the brain off once you start coaching.
I know you mentioned Randy Carlisle earlier in his outlook on coaching. Was there any coaches or one in particular like you kind of wanted to model yourself after?
Yeah, there was, every coach you play for, you take something good that's really going to help you. And man, I don't want to do that but you end up doing negative things because emotional control is hard sometimes when you're in the cage on the bench, or you've had a horrible performance after a period or something like that. But, Sean Walsh, my coach in college, was an incredible motivator, incredible energy. I knew I could never match his natural energy, but something I took with me was the positive attitude he always had, kind of always delivering, finishing with a positive message. Grant Stambrook was an incredible teacher at the college level, the best one-on-one teacher I've ever been around. And then there's so many coaches I took from Hitchcock, Dave Tippett, Billy Barber was very instrumental. I spent 3 years with Billy, and the way he held people accountable. Daryl Sutter, and there's numerous assistant coaches that help shape you along the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Was so when you started coaching, was it what you expected, or was it kind of a whirlwind of kind of like, whoa, this is a lot of work?
No, it was what I expected, and it wasn't work for me. It was a lot more hours probably, and how to organize and be efficient with your time, just like anybody in a new job forum is going to have to learn. But to me, it wasn't work. It was a passion. And being there, whether I was at the rink for 4 hours or 12 hours, the time flew by. I was doing something I loved.
Oh yeah, that's good. Um, so when you're coaching in Denver, you obviously won a national championship. What's the biggest change, I guess, when you go from coaching college players to coaching the National Hockey League?
I didn't find coaching the players a big difference. Players want structure, they want information, they want to be communicated to, and they want to understand the why and the how. The biggest difference was preparation time for how do you prepare your team to get better while also having an idea of how your game plan is going to change a little bit, add wrinkles to it, depending on who you're playing and how they play. In college, you have 5 days to prepare. In the NHL, you might have half a day to a day and a half.
Yeah, and in college, I guess you're preparing for the same team, right? For back-to-back set.
Pretty much, you're playing Friday, Saturday against the same team. In the Eastern Conference of college hockey, they're so close to each other. A lot of times they play different opponents on Friday and Saturdays, but out west, it's definitely the same opponent just because we fly to each other.
So take me through the national championship then as a coach. It's one game. It's not a series. It's one game. What's the mindset going into that? And like it as a coach, is it nerve-wracking?
I guess if you aren't immersed in the moment, it is nerve-wracking. But if you're actually focused on the details of what your team has to do to have success, it really gives you that preparation, gives you a lot of confidence and actually calms your nerves. But a one-game set, you can surprise the other team because a lot of times in college you haven't faced them all year. But I like to coach on my toes, and I like to go after the other team and put them on their heels. In college hockey, you're able to do that. In a 7-game series, you've already played. There's so much film on each other. There's not as many surprises. So then it comes more to elevating individuals to belief.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. I played a little bit of college hockey, and just the one game set was always so frustrating to me. If you lose, it's like if it was 3 games, I think we would have got them, but that's not the reality of it. Your first win as a head coach in the NHL, what was that like?
Yeah, it was a tremendous feeling, just the excitement of the first game of the year. And, it's a memory that's going to stay with me forever. I remember Jamie Benn handing me the puck in the dressing room. And, it was a good feeling, but my thoughts were getting prepared for game 2. We're actually playing Winnipeg in game 2 and 2
Oh,
days
okay.
later.
That's funny. Yeah, that would be a cool feeling. So obviously your coach, it didn't start in Denver, right? Coaching?
No, I started as a volunteer at the University of Notre Dame. And then after a year, I spent 4 years as an assistant at RPI, which is right beside Albany, New York. And from there, I got my first coaching job in junior hockey, USHL, head job. And that was with Dubuque. I was very fortunate to go there. We're an expansion team, and that first team I had, we were lucky to be able to get Johnny Gaudreau, Joachim Ryans, Emgus Gergensen, and Riley Barber. We had 4 players playing the NHL from that first expansion team. And because of those guys' talents, we won.
Wow. That's pretty interesting, actually. When you're coaching in the NHL, like obviously I know, like I work with junior players, not obviously on the ice, but there's a lot of skill days. Is that still happening in the NHL? Like players refining their skills?
Yeah, I think you have to do it even more and more with the salary cap. You have a lot of players maybe that, when the average age in the NHL was closer to 30, now it's closer to 26, and you have to be able to develop players. And again, it comes down to finding time when you can work on wall work, puck possession, how to angle, how to pressure, stick position, all that stuff that you've spent a lot of time in the American League doing. You have to incorporate that into the NHL now.
And what are you looking forward to most about new opportunity here in St. Louis?
You know what? Obviously, a talented group of players to work with, and the staff and the success they've had. Why learning new ideas and how to do things, gives you the opportunity to grow. I think Craig Berube's elite, and the staff they've had has done an incredible job. And you don't win a Stanley Cup by fluke. And to work with these players and this staff, I feel very grateful and fortunate.
Yeah, I bet. And it isn't lost on me that they're also in the Central Division. So I'm sure the Jets will be seeing lots of you as well. But just want to wish you the best of luck here moving forward. And I appreciate you joining the show.
Mac, anytime. Honored to be on your show. Say hello to your old man, and you tell him I still top him by about 4 inches.
I'll let him know. Well, that just about wraps it up for episode 21 of Icebreaker. Appreciate you guys listening wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Means a lot. Really appreciate it. Just wanted to wish everybody a happy Canadian Thanksgiving, wherever you are in Canada, and to our American listeners, your Thanksgiving's coming up, and we'll chat about that then. But for now, have a great week. Enjoy the turkey, and we'll talk to you next week.